YouTube! What's going on, man? It's your boy Jared. We back with another video. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I found this video while I was high. We keep it all the way a buck with y'all. So if it's not good, bro, you can blame the weed for that. There's a lot of experiences I like to put on there's a lot of experience in my life I could just blame on the weed, bro. Like when I was sending dick pics to this one girl, it's just cause I was high, bro. I be doing some dumb stuff when I'm high. And I'm pretty sure y'all can probably relate to that. But anyways, man, we gonna react to this video. It's called Space is Terrifying. It's about the fear of astrophobia. I don't have astrophobia. I got thalassophobia because I just don't like the open ocean, gang. Like we might do a video on that too. I don't know. We might have to do a video on thalassophobia, but I don't like the open ocean, and it's not because I'm black. I can swim, my nigga. It's just like like having ocean all around you, bro, petrifies me. And it's not like it's all around you. It is all around you, but it's also below you, which is crazy. There's like you can never touch the surface the surface of the ocean, dog, without dying. Like the surface, if you're in the middle of the ocean, bro, the deepest point of the ocean, and you try to touch the surface, you're dying before you even make it, either from drowning or extreme pressure. And now that I'm saying that, I can kind of see why people might have astrophobia because astrophobia, if you go into space for real, it's literally just pitch black darkness all around you. And I'm not talking about like it is with the ocean where like you can still look up and see sky. Like I'm talking about, bro, it's pitch black darkness all around you, bro. Pitch black darkness and you're just floating. And you can't breathe without a special suit. So now that I'm really talking to myself, I'm convincing myself of astrophobia being a real phobia. But that's not what I'm supposed to do, bro. We supposed to react to the video. So let's get into the video, man. Let's see what they talking about, what this video hitting for. Y'all go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Anyways, let's watch the video, bro. Yo, this loading is taking forever. Hurry up.
This is a time lapse of the Voyager 2 probe's approach to the most distant planet in our solar system, Neptune. The background noise is composed of various internal radio and software sounds broadcasted back to Earth, along with the pictures and video of the planet. When I was much younger and saw Neptune for the first time, my first thought was that of an oceanic planet. After all, its dark blue hue and its...
Look, bro, look. What I just told y'all. Darkness all around you, with the occasional planet or the occasional galaxy or whatever you're gonna float into. You don't really control. It's like being in water, but even less controlled. Because at least in water, like you can kind of swim and move your way around. In space, bro, there's no gravity, so you're kind of just like literally like floating in slow motion, and you can kind of move, but like it's hard. You know what I'm saying? And then whenever you get close to something, the gravity of that planet, depending on how big it is just gonna suck you right in. So like Neptune, bro, y'all will see. I think it's gonna speed up and it's gonna suck this camera in. Not like super fast at like some alarming rate until you get like start to get really close, but like you're gonna be pulled in to where you can't escape the gravity, especially as a human, bro. And that is so crazy to me. I'm kind of seeing why
White
some niggas have
clouds somewhat
astrophobia.
resemble an aerial view of the Pacific Ocean, and it's even named Neptune after the Roman god of the sea. So it's easy to picture how an imaginative 5-year-old could come up with that conclusion. But of course, that's not actually what Neptune is, and the reality of it all is much scarier than what my little kid self ever could have guessed.
Just suck that nigga all the way in. Talking about just suck that nigga straight in, bro.
Neptune isn't an ocean world. It's an ice giant. Far from something like the planet Hoth from Star Wars or Sarpedon from Star Trek, an ice giant is basically identical to a gas giant, with the only real differences being their size and certain elemental and chemical makeups of its chaotic and deep atmosphere. Which means you have a planet with no solid surface to speak of anywhere. It's just layers upon layers of thick, cold, and increasingly darkening pressurized gas. I don't remember how young I was when I first learned about the true nature of gas and ice giants, but I remember exactly what I felt: fear. And I remember my thoughts uniformly racing with the same exclamation: space is terrifying.
I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck with y'all, bro. I'm not scared of space because I just know that I probably will never end up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more afraid of the ocean because that is a genuine possibility of me ending up there. I'm not
Even
afraid of
now, as a
space.
20-year-old, gas and ice giants are planets that can easily put me on edge. Even just by simply looking at a picture of one of these massive worlds, I feel an overlooming
This is
presence of
so
intimidation.
crazy, bro. Like, perspective is really everything in life, dog. Like, we're looking at this planet right now. This is the entire planet, bro. Like, you could see the entire planet in this one picture. And if you were in space, you could literally see if you back up far enough, you could see the entire planet. But as you get closer, you start to realize, like even being on Earth, bro. If we were off the planet Earth right now and just looking at Earth from a distance in space, you would see the entire planet. You would see everybody who ever lived on Earth. You would see everybody who's alive right now. You would see every city, every state, every country, every ocean, every glacier, every animal. But then as you get closer, you start to die, you start getting into one singular point. Everything starts to become bigger and bigger. It's like you're zooming in on a map. That's really crazy to me.
After all, they aren't given the label of
That is
giant for
really
no
crazy.
reason. And for me, Jupiter is the very epitome of this feeling. If the planet Earth were to ever hypothetically careen towards and impact a planet like Jupiter, we wouldn't even be given the dignity of going out with an explosive, asteroid-like collision. We would simply just be burnt up in and swallowed by Jupiter's large atmosphere. And
That is
swallowed
so
isn't
crazy.
necessarily an inappropriate way to describe it either, as our planet would likely just be absorbed and coalesced into Jupiter's metallic, liquid-like lower layers. There'd be no evidence that our planet ever even existed. We'd
That
just
is,
be erased from the
nigga, that's
cosmos.
ridiculous, bro. As big as we think Earth is, it's not even scratching the surface of other planets. Like, we won't even make a dent on Jupiter. That is crazy to me. Like, you cannot tell me that, like, there's no higher power than us, bro. You can't tell me there's no higher power than us. Everything in Earth is I said Earth, everything in the universe, bro. If we look at stuff from a less self-centered point of view, like the universe, nigga, everything is perfectly crafted, bro, to where we could like know it exists but never reach it. We can know it exists but never interact with it. I'm telling y'all, boys, man, this is the video to get high to. Like, I really wish I had weed right now. Do I sound like a fiend? Probably. Like, if I had weed, I could really go deeper into this thought process. Cause I feel like, bro, sometimes niggas, like me personally, I'm one of them niggas that I need, like, I don't need weed, but like weed really unlocks this like fourth sense in me to just like start talking about things that I normally can't express. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just really thinking about this though. Like, this is crazy to me. I feel like there's gotta be some higher power out there, bro. Ain't no way there ain't no higher power out there, dog. Ain't no way there ain't no higher power out there to create stuff this like intelligently crafted, bro. This is intelligently crafted, intelligently made, bro. This is strategically made in order for us to not ever interact with them, but still like know it exists. This is crazy. Or what if it's all an
And
illusion?
touching on that subject a bit, is the
What if there
fact that
is no
these
planets
planets
for real?
have no definable
Have you been to
surface to
space?
speak of.
You
This,
only
in
seen it
my
on camera.
mind, makes
Hold on, think about it. You've only seen it on camera, bro. Me and you have only seen planets on camera. What if they don't actually exist? What if we try to get on a rocket ship? Like, what if rocket ships are really just the CIA pretending to go to space? The whole time it's fake, and they're just sending rocket ships up there, and they just blow up in the middle of like whenever they're out of camera or something. And then at the bottom of the ocean is really just old fragments of rocket ships that never made it out, and that's why the NASA stopped exploring the ocean floor. Yo, hey, if you're high and you're watching this video, bro, take everything I said seriously. That's all I'm gonna say.
gas and
That's all
ice
I'm gonna say.
giants the most
That's all I'm
alien
gonna say.
worlds that can possibly exist. As strange and mysterious as worlds like Venus and Mars can be, at least they have a ground that a human could actually technically stand atop of. But
Nope,
here, there is no familiarity to speak
you
of,
cannot stand
nothing
on Venus,
even
my nigga.
remotely
Venus has
terrestrial. If you
terrible,
ever were to
terrible
manage
pressure.
being caught in Jupiter's gravity to the point you ended up falling towards the planet, it'd likely be a terrifying and intensely anxious death, as you found yourself becoming engulfed in clouds for miles until the light from the sun became snuffed out, and you plummeted endlessly in darkness until the pressure became so high that your body popped like a bug in a fire. And even
What?
if you had some special sci-fi suit that let you survive in such high pressures, you'd still eventually find yourself being smothered and burned alive in a white-hot global sea of liquid metallic hydrogen. And Saturn is no different. Don't let the beauty
Dang.
of its rings fool you. This planet is every bit as violent and inhospitable as Jupiter. Even more so, actually, as wind speeds in Saturn's
Hey,
upper
swear to God, Saturn is the true example of pretty privilege, my nigga. Niggas think Saturn is like better than all the other planets because it's got all these rings and it looks cool. Nigga, Saturn is, he just said it. Saturn is worse than Jupiter. Saturn and Neptune are the two pretty privileges of the solar system, my nigga. Because Neptune looks so blue and so clean and light blue and baby blue, and it just looks so nice, and then it's fucking freezing, my nigga, with no surface. And the wind speeds are in the thousands, not the hundreds, the thousands, bro. It got tornadoes that are going thousands of miles per hour, bro. Like that's really insane to me.
atmosphere can clock in at over 1,000 miles per hour. Speeds high
Literally
enough to
the
easily
example
kill a
of
person.
letting
In
pretty
fact,
bitches hate you.
storms on Saturn have been
That's
charted
dang, that's just like when you find you a bad bitch and then she play you. Dang, dang, man. I'm real life thinking about that, bro. I be giving out pretty privilege to the hoes because I be like she pretty, so I just kind of let her do what she want. We gotta stop doing that, man. Bro, it's 2025. We gotta stop letting the bad bitches run us over, bro. Yes, you and me, bro. Me and you gotta stop letting the bad bitches run over us, bro. We gotta put our foot down. No matter how pretty she is, let's put our foot down in 2025, man.
started going so fast that they're able to race around the planet and meet their own tails before they have a chance to dissipate. And of course, these storms and global deep formations of clouds are what give our gas giants their iconic looks, and are what lend greatly to their terrifying aura. The
That
most
is so
famous of
clean.
which is Jupiter's Great Red Spot, a massive cyclonic hurricane that has been known to exist since the 17th century, but has likely existed for hundreds or even thousands of years before that, and could quite possibly be a permanent feature of the planet. A storm so
Nah, it's
large
getting
and
smaller.
deep that the planet Earth wouldn't even fill it. And even when looked at up close, its layers of clouds are challenging to tell apart with the unaided eye. More troubling for me, however, is the large hexagonal
Saturn.
storm constantly raging atop Saturn's North Pole. Without saying a word, I'm going to show you a few very real
This is
close-up
crazy, bro. Space is literally omnidirectional blackness, bro. You can be above a planet. You can be below a planet, dog, and still have no sight of the end of blackness in space, bro. It's just still black in every direction you look. That is wild to me, bro. Like, is the universe, are we in a dome? Is it like a fishbowl or is it endless? And that's the question I would probably always have. And I'd really want to know, why can we never like understand the true, not meaning of why we're here, because that's a whole nother video, but like just the true size of the world we live in, or not the world, the reality we live in. Are we in a fishbowl? Is it endless? Is there more of this? Is there like, why can we not reach the other galaxies? Why can we not travel faster? There's so many questions. Why can we not get to these other planets and actually like have are there any other habitable planets? Is there any life other than us? These are all very valid questions I have. I gotta, yeah, see, maybe it's not the time,
images
because
of
if I
this
was high, bro,
massive storm
I'd be
taking
like not
years back by the
disassociating,
Cassini
but
space
if I was
probe.
high doing this video, bro, I would genuinely be like having an existential crisis. And that is horrifying, my nigga. The wind is so fast, it's screaming at us.
This last picture in particular sends chills up my spine,
There's like
and
an
is somewhat
eye.
hard for me to look at without
Looks like a
feeling
whale eye.
anxious. It truly feels like I'm staring into an abyss. The vortex-like layering of the many rotating cloud layers and the seemingly almost unaffected cloud layer residing deep at its center just illustrate the sheer mass of atmosphere that Saturn is. But as terrifying as the vast, complex, endless clouds of the gas giants can be, the inverse of them is equally as such. This is Uranus. No, not Uranus, not
Your
Eurectum
rectum. Is
even.
that a
Say it
femboy?
with me. Uranus. Possibly the most ominous appearing of all the planets in our solar system. Whereas Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune are all filled with swirls of cloud belts and pockmarked by storms, Uranus is near uniformly a teal color, with only a few visible cloud formations in its seemingly tranquil atmosphere. Its own belts only obviously visible when looking through
That
different
junk
spectras
Uranus
of
so
light. But
so
of course,
clean,
this
bro.
planet is anything but tranquil. Every bit as inhospitable as the other gas worlds, Uranus hosts a large gaseous atmosphere and intense wind speeds. And to add insult to injury, Uranus is the coldest planet in the entire solar system, with an upper atmospheric average temperature of negative 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So,
Dang.
if intense winds and pressures don't kill you, it'll likely be an intense case of hypothermia. And finally, after Uranus, we
There ain't no
reach the
hypothermia, bro.
outermost planet,
Negative 350
Neptune.
degrees
Sorry,
Celsius, you're
Pluto.
freezing
What bothers
immediately.
me most about Neptune, more so than its deep blue color and darkened storms, is the sheer amount of mystery surrounding it. To give you an idea of just
We've
how
never
remote
seen
Neptune
Neptune.
is, the average distance between the Earth and Saturn is the average distance between Uranus and Neptune. That's about 1 billion miles worth of what is just about empty space, just to cross into a single planetary system. It's
That's
so
another thing, bro. Why is everything so empty? That's my next question. Why is everything so empty, bro? Every single piece of space, like you literally have to travel billions of miles to get, not billions. That's just this distance. But you have to travel at on average like millions of miles to reach your next celestial body, bro. Like everything is so empty. Why is it all so empty? Why is it all so empty? Why is just like my only why? Why is everything why? You know what I'm saying? Like why is everything why, bro?
far removed
Why
from
is
all the other
everything why,
planets
bro?
that it's only ever been visited once by the Voyager 2 probe, and likely won't be visited by humans again for quite some time. Even Uranus in recent years has had the privilege of being talked about in regards to probing missions, but not Neptune. And although great work has been done in regards to Neptunian exploration by the way of Voyager 2 and several space-based telescopes, Neptune still holds a great many unknowns. For me, this picture will likely always be what comes to mind when I think of Neptune. Seeing the deep blue hue of its deep atmosphere amidst the backdrop of space is akin to seeing a face in the dark of the corner of your room late at night.
Chill,
Unknown,
gang.
foreboding,
You're
almost
terrifying
too
me.
unreal to comprehend. Pure and paralyzing fear. Far removed from the oceanic-like world that resided in the imagination of my younger self.
And there's so many celestial bodies, bro. There's like some of 1 trillion planets that we know about. Or that's probably stars. But there's
It's
like
hard
a
for me,
billion
as
planets
someone
we
who's
know
only
about.
ever lived in the
Like
21st
that we know
century,
exist. We
to
never seen them
imagine a
all,
point
but
in
we just know
time where
about
the
them.
idea of planets beyond our own solar system was actually debated upon. In fact, the knowledge of their existence is relatively new, as the first confirmation of an
Facts.
extrasolar planet, or exoplanet, didn't take place until 1992, literally the same year Wolfenstein 3D came out. Prior to that,
But
the
who the hell
realm of
played that?
alien planets was relegated to scientific debate and the ponderings of philosophers as
This is
far back as
clean,
ancient
bro.
Greece. And yet, in the mere 30 or so years we've
Alright,
been
bro.
looking into
Chill. That's not,
exoplanets,
that's not,
we've
that's
already
crazy.
made numerous mind-warping discoveries that give hope to, and in some cases surpass, our most fantastic fantasies. Earth-like terrestrial worlds, some with surface water, and some twice or even 3 times as massive as our own planet. Worlds with superheated steam atmospheres, oceanic worlds with seas possibly as deep as hundreds of miles, and worlds where the rain is potentially made from diamonds and even glass. Or, wait, glass rain in deep oceans?
Oh, hell nah. Yo,
Although
bro.
when it comes to exoplanets, there's little that can be definitively proven, given the vast distances between us and them, we've nonetheless discovered worlds that can be described as nightmarish, even hellish. One of the first to come to mind is a planet known as Tres 2b, orbiting within the TRES 2 binary star system. Beyond the fact that the planet is likely a gas giant larger than Jupiter, which makes it terrifying enough, the planet is thought to be the darkest ever discovered. Despite being the first planet in line to orbit its host star, TRES 2b reflects less than 1% of all the light that hits its cloud tops. That's quite literally blacker than coal, and given its proximity to its star, the planet is estimated to have an average atmospheric temperature of over 2,900 degrees Fahrenheit, meaning that in between its dark black cloud tops, there's likely a deep dark red glow emanating from the planet's interior, and for all we know, it's the only thing distinguishing the planet from the backdrop of space. The best way to describe such a planet can be done in one word: hell. But even deadlier still is another hot and hellish world known as HD 189733b. Man, they should really start naming these places. A hot Jupiter world where the wind speeds can reach an estimated 8,700 miles per hour. But beyond its temperature and intolerable wind speeds and noxious gases, there's something far deadlier and something far more unsettling.
Yo,
the clouds of this gas giant are laced with silicate particles that coalesce into shards of glass-like material, and this material is propelled around the planet sideways.
Hold on, the deeper we get into this video and we talk about exoplanets, the more I realize that God was just out here trying stuff. I swear to God, God was just putting like randomized. He was clicking the randomized button in the planet creator and was just putting planets randomly. This is like crazy. That's really crazy. Or whatever higher power you believe in. If you don't believe in God, that's fine. But like whatever you believe in, bro, whoever was designing this stuff was literally randomizing stuff, bro. This is crazy. Why why does it rain diamonds on another planet? Why is there no surface on another planet? Why is this planet having 9,000 mile per hour wind speeds? What purpose does that serve? What purpose does that serve? Or is everything we know just not true? I feel like the second part is a little bit more. I feel like the second part of what I just said, like everything we know not being true, is a little bit more closer to reality than humans would like to think. I feel like humans like to think that we know a lot when we really know nothing. We really don't know anything because we've never actually been to we've never been off of Earth. Like we've never stepped foot on another place that wasn't the moon, if you believe that actually happened. If you believe the moon landing happened, okay. I do too. I believe it happened, so I'm gonna say that. But I know some people don't believe it. But we've never stepped foot off of this planet onto another planet, so we really can't tell you what's actually on another planet. Yeah, we sent a rover over there, but like nigga, we haven't been there ourselves, so we can't tell you for real. I feel like that's crazy. I feel like that's why humans don't know as much about space and other stuff as they think they do, bro. As we think we do. And the niggas who try, like the scientists who try to tell you stuff for certain, they're just going off of what they think. This is all theory, bro. Everything about science is theory. Science is really like a theory based subject, bro. It's a theory based field. Everything is a theory. Nothing is real. Well, nothing is like really proven. Because even gravity is like gravity. We thought gravity was the strongest force in the solar system when we first like discovered it with Isaac Newton. And then we realized it's not even probably top five, my nigga. It's probably not even top five forces in the solar system. And that's crazy. Because gravity on Earth is like the strongest
speeds
thing, bro.
many times
You can
over the
always
speed
count
of a
on gravity
bullet.
to
I don't
happen,
know
on
about
gravity
you,
to,
but as
to
someone who
be like
finds even paper
constant
guts to be
on Earth.
extremely upsetting, the
When you
idea
go
of
to another planet, bro,
high-speed,
gravity is really not
sideways
even
falling
your biggest
glass
threat.
storms really gets
Gravity
under
is
my
not your
skin,
biggest threat.
quite literally. But moving away from the already established terror of gas giants, terrestrial exoplanets are no stranger to being horrific places to find yourself stranded on. One of the farthest known exoplanets to exist is a planet known as, Jesus, OGLE 2005 BLG
What?
390L
Nigga, this is like
B.
an Xbox Live code.
Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
This is like an
Thankfully,
Xbox
I
Live
won't
code.
have to continue calling it that, though, because many simply refer to it as Hoth. Located near the galactic core at over 21,000 light-years away, Hoth is believed to be what is known as a super-Earth type world, as this rocky planet is about an estimated 5.5 times the mass of Earth. Its surface temperature is one of the coldest known, at about negative 370 degrees Fahrenheit. Its
Dang.
massive surface is likely to be completely frozen, and possibly even snow-covered, with frozen water, methane, ammonia, and nitrogen making up both the physical ground and possible precipitation. But beyond the many terrestrial and rocky worlds we've discovered, whether tidally locked, molten, frozen, or whether they be Venus-like or possibly similar to Earth, none terrify me more than the ocean world. While places like the beach are extremely fun to be in, don't scare me in the slightest, I also admit that if I were to ever find myself floating above, say, the Mariana Trench, I would undoubtedly feel an overwhelming sense of terror and an adrenaline-filled need to immediately escape the water. That's why, despite their familiarity and their possibly human-friendly environments, ocean worlds fill me with this primal sense of unease and make me shiver somewhat in my own skin. It's also likely why games like Subnautica have such a powerful attraction for a lot of people, including myself. The idea of a planet out there somewhere right now being so alluringly hospitable, yet so immensely unchartable and mysterious, dangerous even, is a chilling thought, like some sort of potential cosmic trap set especially for mankind. One of the most promising candidates for such a place is the exoplanet Gliese 1214b, often just referred to as the Water World, a super-Earth type planet located at a relatively close distance to 48 light-years. It's believed to be made up of a global liquid water ocean, with an atmosphere made up of hydrogen, helium, and possibly water vapor. If our, admittedly limited, data about 1214 is correct, then it's likely that this global ocean at its deepest points reaches all the way down to the planet's own core. And I'm just saying, if I ever found myself over an ocean trench that deep, I'd likely just drop dead of a stroke-inducing panic attack. It's a horrifying combination of both astrophobia and thalassophobia, the fear of seas and oceans. The idea of a planet's core being right beneath you, even if visibly cloaked by hundreds of miles of dark water, is such a horrific thought that I feel anxious just thinking about it. It's even somewhat akin to the very same fear that I have with gas giants. However, even beyond staring into the deep abyss of an ocean that's touching a planet's core, the mind races with ideas of what the planet's global marine environment might consist of. What vast networks of both shallow and deep trenches and reefs must exist on such a planet? What sort of underwater ranges and canyons could possibly be discovered and charted? And the most eerie question of all, what sort of life could you expect to find? With how deep and extreme an environment this global sea must be, we could only ever imagine how horrific and alien-like any life forms on 1214 could possibly be. On Earth, the deepest known ocean depth is only about 7 miles below the sea, and life even at just that distance alone becomes unimaginably strange and unearthly in appearance. To think of what kind of life could possibly exist hundreds of miles below the sea, or even just a couple dozen miles under at that, the mind races with possibilities of what horrors could possibly be lurking in the dark depths.
You cannot tell me there's not another planet that's out there like Earth. You can't tell me there's not another clone of Earth out there somewhere. That's why I think I kind of think that theory where they say if you travel the universe long enough, you will eventually find another clone of yourself because there's like two of everything. I feel like that's true. I genuinely feel like that's true. I feel like there's clones of us somewhere out in the universe. We can't reach them. That's why everything is so spaced out. That's why everything is so spaced out and so far. We're not meant to find our own clone. Yo, I'm really spitting. I'm dropping gems here. I'm telling you, we're not meant to find our own clone.
We live at an amazing time in regards to astronomy. We now, more so than any other time in all of human history, have amazing and unparalleled access to viewing outer space. And with cutting-edge tools such as the Hubble and James Webb Space Telescopes, we have become spoiled with the amount of information that's available and is still being actively gathered on exoplanets, far-off galaxies, and grand sweeping stellar natural processes. And in this zeitgeist of frontier information gathering, it seems many people have forgotten and even find boring something much closer to home, our own solar system.
That's the
With
crazy
how
part. Hold on. I just thought about that when I saw Jupiter spinning. You got to think about this also, bro. These planets aren't just sitting in space, just not moving. They're always moving. Everything is being pulled towards the great attractor, and then in your own solar system, you're orbiting the host star. So like the sun, we're orbiting the star, right? We're orbiting the sun right now. Every planet is orbiting the star at its own pace. Some go slower, some goes faster. Mercury is literally like already getting across around the sun right now, while we're like we're nearly halfway around the sun because it's a year. We're 4 months into the year. 6 months is the whole year. So we're about 2/3 the way to half a year, right? To halfway around the sun. It's really crazy when you think about it. They're moving at speeds that are so fast, you would have to launch a rocket at like 70,000 miles per hour to catch it. That is so crazy, bro. To get
How
to like
much
a
time
different
has
planet. That
passed
is
since we
crazy,
first
bro.
started to really observe the planets up close, and with how many observatories and probes we've constructed to gather images and data of these strange worlds, you'd think there'd be little left for us to discover. In reality, however, these places are still as much a mystery to us as anything beyond the Oort cloud. As stated earlier, Neptune has only ever been
Facts.
visited once in all of human history. In fact, much of what we know about the ice giant comes
Here's off
from
of
the
that one.
1989 flyby made by the Voyager 2 probe. So Neptune, despite being within our own solar system and being 4
We know
times
one.
wider
We've
than
seen it
Earth,
one
is still
time.
to this day one of the most unknown objects in such close proximity to our planet. The same applies as well to its largest moon, Triton. An arguably more intriguing world than Neptune itself, Triton is one of the great moons of the solar system, coming in at 7th largest at a diameter of about
And one of these moons has water
1,680
on them.
miles. Yet despite its size, to this day, only about 40% of its surface has been mapped. When Voyager 2 made its approach to Triton in '89, it discovered a moon far removed from a gray and desolate dust-covered rock like our own. Cryovolcanoes, active geysers, and frozen lakes were all spotted across Triton's icy surface,
These are
as well
crazy
as
flicks,
thin
by the way.
layers of
My
clouds
nigga,
that
hold
were
on.
all spotted across.
Bro, could you imagine getting an Instagram flick right here? Tell me that wouldn't be hard. Tell me that wouldn't be hard, bro. That's the hardest Instagram flick of our century, bro.
Triton's icy surface, as well as thin layers of clouds in its upper atmosphere. Triton also plays host to a unique type of terrain not known to exist on any other planet, cantaloupe terrain. Large stretches of land crisscrossed by grooves and fissures, giving rise to Triton's iconic and majestic appearance. However, more so than looking pretty, these fissures, on top of the presence of geysers and an apparent lack of meteorite craters, are all pieces of evidence that suggest the existence of a large subterranean ocean that is consistently renewing the moon's surface. An ocean that could very well be in contact with the moon's mantle, leading to the possible presence of thermal vents, which, like on Earth, would result in a warm and mineral-rich sea for life to arise in. Needless to say, I hope that someday we'll be able to return to the Neptunian system. If not for Neptune, then certainly at least for Triton. But while Triton as a whole is a very unique place, it may well shock you to hear that the prospect of habitable subsurface oceans is not something solely present on Triton. In fact, these oceans may very well be quite common across the outer solar system. Triton isn't even the prime candidate for this possibility anyway. Europa, one of the 4 Galilean moons of Jupiter. Up until the arrival of the Voyager probes in 1979, Europa, like all of the other Jovian moons, was completely unknown to us. Its appearance, its exact size and mass, and its chemical makeup were
Like,
all
we
things
literally
we
have
had
no
little to
idea
no
some of these
information
planets
about.
existed.
But what exactly was
Or some of
found
these bodies
surpassed all of
existed.
our
This is
wildest
crazy.
expectations, and has led to a decades-long interest in finding out more about this small moon that many might consider more intriguing than its own host planet, Jupiter, because this is the most likely candidate we know of in the entire known universe to be another world that hosts life. When first looking at Europa's surface, you're confronted with a vast gray and white landscape with reddish and brownish cracks and fissures crossing all over the surface, a surface composed mainly of water ice. And underneath this hard as granite icy terrain is very likely a planet-wide subsurface ocean, partially or entirely in contact with the moon's believed to be hot mantle, leading to the very real possibility of thermal vents providing minerals and heat to this massive ocean, creating conditions similar to how the conditions were within Earth's own seas when life first arose on our planet. It's a prospect that's so probable and widely believed in that it's a popular subject within science fiction, particularly the well-made party indie game Barotrauma, a game where you and your friends go around in a custom-made submarine underneath Europa's surface, completing missions for various European political factions that range from hunting down monstrous alien sea creatures and raiding hostile submarines and deep-sea stations. While for now in the year 2023 such a concept is total fiction, games like Barotrauma could one day become a reality for any possible European colonists. And with NASA's Europa Clipper and ESA's JUICE missions right around the corner, we may very well have answers to Europa's life question within our own lifetimes. And if it does turn out to be there, even in the most microbial of forms, it will no doubt be a massive change to the human condition. Throughout all the annals of human history, while the pharaohs reigned over Egypt, the emperors over Rome, and all the wars and battles waged that shaped our very existence as humans, there was, on a distant snowball just 500 million miles away, a completely unknown and mysterious alien ecosystem chugging along, none the wiser to everything we've ever done or accomplished. A lesson in humility if there ever was.
Bro, what a horribly timed ad. Bro, I'm locked in. I'm so locked in. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not talking much. I'm so locked in, bro. These videos like this, bro. This is why I tell y'all, if you're high right now, shout out to you, but this is why I tell you, like, this is something I could get high and immerse myself in. I'm already locked in and I haven't even smoked, nigga. If I had smoked already, nigga, I'd be locked in, like genuinely picturing everything in my mind. But I'm like gathering my thoughts. This is crazy. We really don't know anything about anything. Like it fascinates me. That's a big word. It fascinates me, but it also kind of scares me. It's like I hate not knowing, but I love that I don't know. It's a contradiction, but I don't even care, bro. Like this is
Ever
crazy.
was one.
The infinite universe. Thank you. Let's talk about it. Are we infinite? Are we not? To think, bro. To think. We live in. I need a more detailed picture, bro. Can you give me a more detailed version of this,
For as
bro?
shrouded in mystery as extrasolar systems, our own heavenly neighbors, and all the other celestial objects of our galaxy can be, they all combined can never even hope to hold a candle up to the enigma that is the very universe.
Look at this, bro. We live in this. Each piece of light you see is another galaxy, bro. That's so crazy to me. And in those galaxies are different planets and different exoplanets and different I mean not ecosystems, different planets and exoplanets and stars and stuff. This is crazy, bro. Wow. We haven't even explored
Universe
our whole
itself. Our
galaxy. We haven't even
universe
explored our
is
whole
so
solar
large
system.
and is so old
We
that
haven't even
it
explored
goes
our whole
beyond
planet.
scale. The observable universe on its own, from a human perspective, is a seemingly infinite distance across,
Look at
and is
this.
likely still only an extremely small fraction of the size of the total universe. Even if humanity is guaranteed billions of years to continue existing, and is guaranteed the opportunity to spread out across our galaxy,
We still
colonizing
wouldn't be
new
able to see
planets and
everything.
inventing wondrous new technologies, we could never
Is
even
that
hope
Earth
to
with
ever have a
Saturn's
chance at
rings?
answering every question the universe throws our
That's a
way,
black hole,
even at the
nigga.
most local of levels. For me, some of the most attractive objects in the sky are the galaxies of our own local galaxy group. Our local group is made up of at least 80 individual galaxies,
And they're
many
saying
of which
local
being
when you
small
can never
dwarf
reach them.
galaxies that orbit around the larger ones. Out of all these galaxies, the Milky Way is the second largest, at an approximate diameter of over 100,000 light-years. But even for such an incredible size, it's shown up by the first largest.
My bad, y'all. Recording stopped. I don't know what just happened, but the recording stopped. But I didn't want to end the video. We're gonna get back into it.
1,000 light years in diameter. An object so large and close by that it's easily visible to the naked eye at night, and has been known to exist since at least the Bronze Age. Little is actually known about Andromeda outside of its more general details. However, one very interesting thing to note is the possible discovery of an extragalactic planet within the Andromeda galaxy. Now, much of the evidence is debated upon, but it is possible that we've in the past discovered an exoplanet around a star in the Andromeda galaxy, a planet called PA99N2. If it really exists, it's likely around 6 times as massive as Jupiter. Personally, I'm somewhat doubtful of its existence, but it still is interesting to think of the idea that we may someday, possibly even within our lifetimes, be able to decisively detect exoplanets outside of our own galaxy. Galaxies are massive structures. The scale of just one of them is beyond human comprehension.
What if, bro?
100,000 light years, 200.
Bro, what if when we die, instead of like actually dying or going like, what if everything we know about death is a lie and our souls don't go anywhere? Instead, we go to a whole nother galaxy. And that's why we never contact anybody back, because you literally can't contact between galaxies or even planets, to be honest. It's hard to contact between planets, let alone galaxies. So we can't even contact each other through galaxies. And so whole time there's more life in other galaxies. We just don't know about it because we can't ever contact them. And so that when you die, you go there and you start a new life. That would be crazy. That is a
100,000 light years. What do those numbers even mean? They're so massive that we can't even properly picture them in our minds. We already mentioned our own local galactic neighborhood, but as you zoom out, the scale becomes much more terrifying. Our own local group is itself a small part of a larger clustering of galaxies, the Virgo supercluster, a large structure composed of an estimated 100 local groupings, containing about 100,000 individual galaxies. But Virgo is itself only the tip of the spear of an even grander structure, the Linacia supercluster, a structure made up of not only Virgo, but several different smaller superclusters, groupings, and terrifyingly, voids. One of which apparently the Milky Way is a part of, which is chilling to think about. So Linacia is huge, right? So huge, it seems hard to come up with anything you could further zoom out to see. But the scale can still get bigger, much bigger. Linacia itself is only a small fraction out of a large structure known as the Pisces Cetus supercluster complex, a type of galactic filament. Aside from just the intimidating and kind of badass label of filament, galaxy filaments are scary in their sheer size. As far as we can tell from the confines of the solar system, filaments are the largest known structures to occur within the universe, or at least the observable universe. Massive as they may be, scientists are still able to somewhat map their size from the lab. And for me, what is to be seen is beyond uncanny. It's almost as if I'm looking at a picture of Earth's night side and not the largest structures in the universe. Filaments are, in fact, so large that we can't even be sure that some of the ones we've discovered even exist, as they seemingly destroy our understanding of how large universal structures can possibly be. No more is this apparent than with the Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall. Again, scary but badass name. Sounds like the name of a metal album. If it really exists, then it is the largest structure ever discovered in the observable universe by a landslide, residing 6 to 10 billion light years away from the Earth. Dang. The Great Wall is approximately 10 billion light years across, meaning that light from one end of the structure takes about 10 billion years to reach the other end. For comparison, the estimated age of the universe is around 13.7 billion years old. It's an object so old and redshifted that it's detectable only by a phenomenon known as gamma ray bursts. Intense energetic explosions shooting off gamma radiation into space at the speed of light, detectable even as far as 13 billion light years away, which, hold the phone, is an incredible thought in and of itself. The farthest known gamma ray burst, GRB 090429b, catchy, was recorded at an approximate distance of 13.14 billion light years away from Earth. The margin of error notwithstanding, that would make this single cosmic event only about 600 million years younger than the universe, as the energy it released needed over 13 billion years to reach us. It's so old that it's essentially guaranteed this GRB has long since gone cold. Its energetic jets and hot accretion disks snuffed out billions of years before their signals ever even reached us. The energy we record from it today is just its ghost, an
It's
echo from a
ancient.
distant and bygone era of the universe's
We
history.
didn't even
That
talk about that either, bro. Light from other places, like galaxies or stars or anything you see really in the universe, is in the past. He just said it takes 10 billion years to reach. Some planets take like 45 million years or whatever, 4 million years to reach us, 4,000 years to reach us, right? Like Andromeda, I believe it takes like 8 million years to reach us, or 2 million years to reach us, the light from Andromeda. So whole time we could be looking at Andromeda, thinking it's right where it's at, thinking it's where it's at, and whole time it's 2 million years gone, bro. It could be but died out by now, which is probably unlikely that a whole galaxy died out, but like still, we're looking in the past every time we look into space. It's actually
really
crazy.
is the real crux of the matter, right? For me, it's the
There's a
universe's
whole
most
like there's a whole
cruelest of
like theory that
properties,
I mean not theory, there's a whole like
distance, the
math
scale of the very
equation to it and
universe
everything.
itself, and the disheartening time it takes to traverse it, even at its fastest known natural speed. It will always play against us, and whatever else that may live within it. Even if you woke up tomorrow and light speed travel had been perfected, and all the moons and terrestrial bodies of our solar system were colonized, it would still take 4 years to reach the nearest star, Alpha Centauri. And even if, over the course of countless generations, we managed to colonize the entire Orion arm of the galaxy, a human on one end of the arm could never in 100 lifetimes hope to meet someone else from the opposite end. And even if we colonized our whole galaxy and saw firsthand all the wonders there were to see, and solved all of the mysteries of the Milky Way, leaving our own galaxy,
To
if
go to
that's something
Andromeda.
even possible to do, would essentially be a restart to human civilization. Any colonists who would arrive in Andromeda or Triangulum would have no contact with the Milky Way, and for all
Ever
they know,
again.
humans in the Milky Way could be entirely gone anyway. Any mysteries they're met with would be solely their own to bear, our own existence be damned, but maybe that's the point. Despite our timeless and beloved stories of massive space battles, heroes and villains, and galactic political struggles, maybe the point of our existence in space, if there even is a point to it, isn't to play politician, nor to fight in epic battles, nor to create a vast and connected spacefaring empire, but is instead one of redefining ourselves, to find all we can possibly find and know all we can possibly know with the little time we have left, to try our best in making space, our universe, less terrifying.
Man. Hey, W video. I'm gonna speak real quick. Man, I hope y'all learned something today. Hope y'all got scared of astrophobia. Why did the video just lag right there? I learned a lot. I'm really thinking, bro. All of this stuff made me think, and it continues to make me think. That's why I like watching these space videos, man. They make me think more than anything. It kind of takes my mind away from like what's on Earth. Because you really think about it, bro, anything you do on Earth really doesn't matter on a cosmic scale of things. Like if you want to do something and you feel embarrassed to start it, or you feel embarrassed to continue, or you feel like you're feeling any type of embarrassment, or you feel like people are watching you, bro, or people are just paying attention to you, just know like anything you do doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of like the universe, my nigga. As far as you know, bro, we could be the only niggas here. Or there could be multiple niggas here that we just don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess I say that to say like we live on a floating rock in the middle of empty space. Do what you want to do, bro. Enjoy your life. Other than that, man, y'all have a great rest of your day. I'm out.